environmental and transportation planning is?
We actually are a new general contractor.
That's right. That's right. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. Our firm specializes in environmental, urban, civil design, and general contracting. So, and what that means is if you're looking at a project from an urban planning standpoint, we could help our client find maybe the highest and best use land for doing that project, and looking at the land within itself to see what the surroundings are to make sure it's a good decision for building there. And then we can help with the environmental part to make sure that the land is clean, and if it isn't clean, we can help them with cleaning that up. And then from the civil side, it's more of design, looking at how we can make sure that the land is like flat and things like that. And from the construction side, it's building.
So when you say, so that kind of takes us into our first question, which is the areas of concentration in your business.
Yes.
So when you say environmental, urban, just break those down, for us what that means.
Right. For, I guess, urban planning, it's more looking at maybe if you need a master plan that you can sell that vision to a banker. We can help clients with that. And making sure they actually have their objectives and goals and nice pictures and renderings and things of that nature. From the environmental standpoint, it's basically doing your due diligence to make sure that before the bank will give you money, you have to get a environmental assessment done so they can say, okay, yeah, this land is clean, we can move forward with this project, and we can assist our clients with that.
And when you say environmental assessment, that's like determining about the soil, whether it's good, whether this is basically a clean area.
Right, and we can also assist with lead and asbestos testing. A lot of people are familiar with lead and asbestos and the harmful health effects that may result from that. We do inspections as well if they want to do a remodel of a building or something like that. It doesn't have to be a new building project, it can be a renovation project they may be interested in.
So at what part during the construction phase or the implementation or the idea phase does a body or entity call you? Do they call you when they're thinking about building?
Yes, I need to be involved when they're visioning, at the very beginning when they're even thinking about doing a project. So if I'm trying to contact a client and it's in the newspaper, I'm way behind the ball. I really need to be in people's minds early on when they're just thinking about building.
Okay, so they need to call you on the front side, not after the deal is already rolling along.
Exactly.
Now tell us about how did you decide to get into these particular areas for your business?
Well, my educational background and work experience led me to what I'm doing now and it's what I'm interested in. I've always been very interested in cities and I guess buildings, and just one of my dreams is to be able to go to Italy and Greece and Rome to be able to see those cities, because those are some of the first cities that were built. And so that's one of my passions. I've always been very interested in how the environment affects the human health, and that's where the interest in lead and asbestos and environmental assessments comes in, because that's a direct effect on people's health. So it all ties in.
So you said you've always been interested in how the environment affects the human health. So where did that interest come from? Where did that motivate?
Well, I grew up in a town called Ahoskie, North Carolina. It's a very small rural area. And when I was in high school, I decided that during career day, the students could choose to, I guess, tour with the mayor, the fire chief, the police chief, but I wanted to go with the public works director.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I was interested in where all our trash was going. And when I went on the tour with him, I noticed that the trash was really in minority neighborhoods, and so it was an equity issue. So I didn't understand why. Why is all these landfills in our county in lower income minority areas? And so when I went to college, I started taking classes that dealt with equity, public policy classes, environmental classes, just so I could learn more about that area.
That's excellent, excellent. Well, as you've been doing that, tell us about some of the projects that you've got going on in the area.
Well,
and that you have been working on also.
Yes. Right now I'm currently working on the baseball project in Birmingham for the Barons.
Right.
Very excited about that. I'm doing the environmental work, and that's going well. Also working on the Shuttlesworth Birmingham Airport project, the terminal modernization. We're a part of helping with that as well. And
so that's what you say, modernization. So they're upgrading?
They're upgrading the airport. It's a wonderful project. Very exciting.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. We're also working on a project with the Southern Research Institute. We're doing some construction consulting on that project.
Wow.
So they're a nonprofit. and that's also in Birmingham. We've also recently completed a project dealing with high-speed rail, a feasibility study going from Atlanta to Birmingham.
Okay.
So that's something that I think is cutting edge. So.
Wow. Well, you got a lot going. Well, now help us transition. I got so many notes here. I can't even cover everything. Your educational background. How did all, you're doing a lot of things.
Yes. Well, I went to UNC Chapel Hill, which is in North Carolina. And I majored in communication studies and political science in undergrad, and then I got a master's in regional planning with a focus in environmental land use planning. And then I went to law school at Chapel Hill as well. So that's my educational background. From a professional standpoint, I've obtained the certifications in different environmental areas such as the lead and asbestos inspections and the general contractor's license and things like that that help me professionally to do the kind of work that I do.
Well, congratulations once again on your GC General Contractor's License. You certainly got to be one of probably no more than 5 women in the state of Alabama, well, I would say, without doing the research, who've actually been able to make that accomplishment. Educationally, now, you're originally from North Carolina.
I am.
And did you go to North Carolina?
I went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Okay. All right. And then you got a master's. Did you get a master's there, or?
I got the master's and the law degree there. I was there for 9 years.
Wow.
So it was a long time,
Wow.
but I enjoyed it, yes.
So what drove your decision what drove your vision to come to Birmingham?
Well, when you graduate from law school, you're just looking for a job. And so
Understand.
I got offered a job in Birmingham to work on one of the largest environmental toxic torts cases in history, which was in Anniston, Alabama.
I remember.
And I actually studied that case when I was an intern at the EPA when I was in graduate school. And I came to tour Anniston, and it really touched my heart. It was very emotional to see the devastation, how many people were hurting, and the devastation to the land as well. And when I was in law school, I was in my professor's class, and he actually knew about the case and had been somewhat involved with that. And for my civil rights seminar class, I actually did my final paper on that. I came down and I interviewed the attorneys working on the case, and one of the attorneys offered me a job.
Wow.
And so I did that for like a year and a half. And then after that ended, after the case ended, my job ended. And so I started this business because I was looking for another job and couldn't find a job. So I said, well, let me just think of something that I actually am good at and I know about. I started making some marketing materials and started handing them out because I was too embarrassed to tell people I didn't have a job and I have 4 degrees. That's very, very embarrassing.
But in a tough economy.
You got to do what you got to do.
That's
So
right.
you just look at your resources, and I made them work. So by God's grace, literally.
Well, we thank God for it. Now, and that's one of the things that you said in your multiple bios, that you started your company while you were on unemployment.
Yes.
Tell us about
I
it.
did. So unemployment, I was also teaching aerobics classes, which I started teaching aerobics classes when I was in college.
Okay.
And never knew that was going to
So
be
that's
a source
another
of income.
that's another deal that you can do.
But that's something I'm also passionate about, health and wellness, which is a big deal, I think, for people in general. So I like helping people in that area. But it actually helped me pay some of my bills too.
Understand.
While I didn't really have any other jobs. So what I did is all the money that I made from teaching aerobics classes and gradually getting contracts, I was able to get off unemployment, and I put all the money back in my business to grow my business. So I haven't had any investors except my parents who've helped me out when I needed help desperately, which I'm grateful for.
Now, let me interject. That's the key thing that you just said, that all the money you made, you put back into the business.
Yes.
How important is that?
That's very important to grow the business. And I'm still not where I want to be at all, but I'm determined and focused and diligent. And I think that's what it takes if you're going to open a business, is to have those qualities.
Excellent. Where do you see yourself? What's your vision for the future?
My ultimate vision would be to have the largest women general contracting firm in Alabama.
Wow.
Yeah, and then after that, I would probably set another goal. But
wow.
for now, that's pretty big.
That
that's
is
huge.
That is a big
That's
vision.
huge.
I mean, that's a really big vision. Well, what would be your encouragement as you're entrepreneur, business owner, founder, CEO? What would be your encouragement for others who would like to have been thinking about going into business? The benefits of why you should go ahead and activate your vision.
Well, one thing I would say is, before activating your vision, I'm a Christian. I would say definitely pray about it to make sure that that's what is for you to do. And then from there, I'd say start going to different seminars and programs that are for small business owners, because literally I felt like been in business for over 5 years now, but I really felt like I've been in school getting another degree on how to have a business, how to run a business, and I learn stuff every day, so it's constant learning. So exposure is key. I've been through a number of mentoring programs with different corporations and professional organizations. Take advantage of those, especially when it's free resources. Take advantage.
Latrice, you know we've got to go.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for being here with us on the Vision Show. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do it with you one more time.
I appreciate that.
That's going to do it for us on this edition of Visions. Please stay tuned. We'll see you next time.